Welcome to Bonnie's Beat. I'm your host, Bonnie Squires. We're coming to you from Radnor Studio 21. We're broadcasting in Radnor Township and Lower Merion Township, and we're coming to you from the studio in beautiful downtown Wayne. We like to showcase people who are doing interesting and important things, whether it's politics, arts and culture, academia, and today we have a real treat in store for you. We've got Elena Berman, who is now running the Nellie Berman School of Music. Nellie Berman was her mother, who unfortunately passed away this past summer, and one of her outstanding students, the prize winner, the piano prodigy, Emma Lowe. Welcome to Bonnie's Beat, both of you. Elena,
thank you so much.
Thank you for bringing Emma, and especially since you're coming right from a concert in Chestnut Hill.
Yeah.
Emma, tell me what you were doing on stage in Chestnut Hill.
Well, we sat on the couch at the side, and then when it was our turn to go up and play, we went up, we bowed, we played.
Who's the we?
The other students from the Nellie Berman that were invited to the concert.
But you played a solo.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you play at this concert?
I actually played two pieces. One of them was Russian composer Nikolai Kapustin, his first concert etude. They're really fun, lively, jazzy pieces. And the second piece was Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker Suite, and another Russian pianist named Pletnov. He arranged them for piano.
How old were you when you started playing piano?
I was 5.
You're 5. Elena, how good is she?
She's incredible. She's truly a gem. There are a number of people who are gifted, but Emma combines within her great musicality, incredible technical ability, and spirit. She's extremely hardworking as well.
And she just won the Music Teachers National Association Award for the state of Pennsylvania. And Emma Lowe has also won 5 or 6 orchestra piano competitions, both with Philadelphia Regional Orchestras as well as the New Orleans Civic Orchestra. Oh my goodness, you got to go to New Orleans.
Yeah.
What a wonderful city, what a wonderful musical city New Orleans is. There's music everywhere all the time. Where did you play in New Orleans?
I played at the University of New Orleans. They have a fantastic hall there, and it was a great concert.
Now, what grade are you in?
I'm in 7th grade.
And where do you go to school?
At the Shipley School.
And how long have you been at the Shipley School?
I just started this year.
Okay, where did you go to elementary school?
I went to elementary school in 2 different places. One was the Willistown Country Day School, and the other was the Hillside Elementary School.
And that's in Berwyn?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Elena, where do you live?
I live in Bryn Mawr, and the school is in Haverford. It's a very unique music school where Emma has been a student since she started piano with my mother. And I remember this little girl who's been playing piano maybe for 6 months, and my mother Nellie gave her Chopin mazurka that's played by great artists and a Mozart sonata. And this girl hasn't even played a year. She started pretty much from the beginning, from first notes, and then her father would stand over her and practice and help her. And my mother has put her great knowledge and love, and she adored them, truly adored them. And she was a sort of a flower for my mother.
And your mother, how long ago did she found the Nellie Berman School of Music?
We celebrated 35 years just recently.
35 years.
Yes, she came from Odessa, from Ukraine. We came from...
You were born in Odessa
I
also.
was born in Odessa. I've studied in a very famous music school where my mother graduated from, called the Stolyarsky Institute. It was founded by a Russian Jewish violinist who in turn of the century would go to shtetls where little children, he would pick kids and he would say, this is a gifted child, I have to teach him. And then he would provide home for them. He would actually bring them to his apartment in Odessa and he would work with them. And he was a great teacher who produced students like David Oistrach, who was one of the Russia's greatest violinists. And then the school that he organized, my mother, when she came to the United States, this is what she wanted to reproduce. She wanted this incredible intensity of dedication to music. And students like Emma, for whom music is quite important part of her life, and she wanted them to practice hard and play very sophisticated music, not necessarily to become professional musicians, although these kids that performed today this concert, they are professional musicians. Some of them practice up to 6 hours a day, and this is what
6
it
hours a
means.
day.
Well, not every day, because her teachers at Shibri would not be happy. But I'm sure sometimes before competitions, probably solid 4 5 hours, from 2 to 4 hours, I would say, approximately, that Emma practices.
What time do you get up in the morning, Emma?
7 a.m.
And what time do you go to bed at night? You could be honest.
About 10.
It's a long day.
Yeah.
Very long day. And where do you squeeze in the hours for your piano practice?
On days that I don't have, you know, piano and violin lessons and extracurricular, like I tennis, then I might be able to like squeeze in.
You play tennis
Yeah.
and you play the violin, but you have to be careful of your fingers.
Yeah.
I remember I broke a finger playing baseball one time when I was like in 8th grade, and my piano teacher, because I was like her star pupil, and the concert was coming up, she was ready to strangle me. How could I play baseball? How could I break my finger? So you have to be careful playing tennis that you don't injure your fingers, right?
Well, I guess the fingers aren't really involved in tennis that much.
You have
As
to
much
hold.
as-
They have to hold the racket.
Well,
It's
as
the
much as
tennis
other
elbow.
sports. Yeah.
What is difficult is the tennis elbow, because you use this part of your arm, so it's
That's
you
true.
have to be careful.
But you play the violin also,
Yeah.
and you can't decide whether you like piano more than violin or violin more than piano,
Not
or you're
really.
afraid to say.
Well, I guess I feel guilty if I said one instrument over the other because I love them both. I mean, they're both really great instruments.
Did you start the violin at age 5 also?
No, I started when I was 8.
Oh, a latecomer. You didn't play the violin until you were 8. Oh, wow. But the piano at 5. And so now you're 12?
Mm-hmm.
So you've been playing the piano for most of your life. What kind of pleasure do you get from playing the piano?
Well, starting from when I was really little,
What do you mean you were really little? You're not that big now.
like when I was younger, my teachers, they would take me to like nursing homes and, you know, to play for people who can't get out and enjoy music. So it made me happy to see them happy.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah.
And they must marvel that someone so young is so good at playing. As a matter of fact, we're going to take a short break so that we can plug in some video that was taken from your most recent concert
Yeah.
in Chestnut Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're back. That was amazing. That was really amazing.
Thank
Emma.
you.
How many people were in the audience, do you know?
I'm not sure exactly, but maybe 50 people, just an estimate.
Elena, where was this concert in Chestnut Hill?
It's a wonderful organization called Musical, And this is non-professional amateur musicians for whom music is an important part of their life. And they have 4 to 6 concerts a year. And they all have different professions, but they enjoy getting together, and they invite students from Curtis and from various music conservatories around Philadelphia. And they felt that the Nellie Berman School of Music deserved a place on their program because of the quality, very, very high quality, professional quality of the students.
Now, you took over. Had you been working with your mother all these years?
I have been working with her for about 25 years or even more, probably.
Oh, okay.
It's unusually for a mother and daughter to have such a close working relationship, and we both truly adored pedagogy and classical music, and our conversations would be about kids like Emma, and what piece are we going to assign, and what competition are they going to play, and how did this child play, and what we have to do to inspire this child. So this was something that connected me very much with my mother.
But you also play the piano.
I very much so. We immigrated to the United States, to New Orleans, and I played with New Orleans Symphony Orchestra.
Oh.
And
how did you get to New Orleans from Odessa?
It was
a fluke?
No, it was actually quite interesting. My mother's piano students, they were the first family to immigrate to New Orleans, and they missed a good piano teacher. So they had to sponsor us because they wanted my mother to come to the United States and teach their son. And then I played with New Orleans Symphony Orchestra, and Philadelphia native Susan Starr
Susan Starr
performed with New Orleans Symphony Orchestra, and the conductor wanted, I was 12 years old actually, I was the same age as Emma was, and he arranged for me to play for Susan Starr, and she told me that if my mother would bring me to Philadelphia, she would teach me for free. She gave me completely, and my mother had to decide. She just got into a doctorate program at Cincinnati University, and she had this offer from incredibly gracious and offer, and she decided for her daughter. She was a wonderful mother. She brought me to Philadelphia, and I studied with Susan Starr, who I would have about 4 or 5 hours a week, which is what our students study. This is the special scholarship program at the Nellie Berman School that my mother Nellie has organized, which allows very gifted and very hardworking students to have scholarship, for them to have 2-hour lessons a week. Because in 1 hour, it's not possible to achieve the incredible perfection that's required to play on the level of a student like Emma. The pieces she just played with New Orleans Civic Orchestra, and it's a Chopin Concerto No. 2. Just to play from the beginning to the end is what, a good 25 minutes or so, first movement, and the whole concerto.
And do you know it by heart, or do you use music? And I figured you would know it by heart. Yes, memorize it. Do you dream music, Emma?
Music has almost become like a sixth sense for me. You know, I've been doing it ever since I can remember. Like when I was in my mother's stomach, she would listen to classical music because she liked it so much, and I listen to classical music still every night before I go to bed. Like,
do you use earphones or?
No, it's I have a CD player, and I just listen to CDs.
I don't think your parents object, right?
No.
Does your mother play an instrument?
No.
How is it that you, at the age of 5, started playing a piano? Who was the person that said, did you have a piano in the house?
We actually didn't before I started, but my mom, she loved violin a lot. When she started talking to like some people who their kids had played piano before, she decided it would be better for me to start with piano first.
Interesting. And then she found the Nellie Berman School of Music for you?
Mm-hmm.
And you've been there ever since?
Yes.
What does it feel like when they announce your name as the winner of a competition?
I just feel thrilled. I mean...
Do you jump up and down, or you're more quiet than that?
I'm more quiet because it's just great to know that all my hard work has paid off.
What are your plans for the future? I mean, you're only 12 now, and you have an incredible array of awards and performances. What do you see in the future for you?
I mean, there are so many possibilities. Like, I could become a doctor, I don't know, a teacher. I could be whatever I want.
Is professional pianist in the cards for you, or no?
It might be, actually.
Okay. Elena, if you had your say, where would you steer her?
You know, what's incredible about the United States, that people are allowed to explore. But in music, what's incredibly important to start very, very young. And there's no time to decide later on whether or not one becomes a musician. Emma is a musician. She doesn't have to wait. She is a professional musician. The quality of her playing is so sophisticated, and her musical soul is so developed that she probably has to, she will have music her whole life. I have no doubt. It's going to give her joy. It's going to give her solace in difficult moments of her life and happy moments of her life. She's going to have friends with whom she will play chamber music. How she wants to make her living, it's already, the future will tell. But she is a professional musician already.
What's your favorite subject at Shipley?
History.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Are you studying a language?
Yeah, I study Spanish and Latin.
Spanish and Latin?
Yeah.
I'm fluent in French, but they didn't offer Spanish. They offered Latin and French when I went to the Lower Merion School District. And I was good at both, but then on the basis of a very scientific answer that my mother gave me, she had not had the opportunity to go to college or anything, I said, I don't know. I win a Hershey bar every day in Latin class and then in French class, but I can only pick one for ninth grade, to study. And my mother said, only dead people speak Latin. Study French. Okay. So on the basis of that scientific study, I opted for French, luckily, because I achieved French fluency, and especially in the dark days with what's happening in Paris with ISIS, I'm able to hear the French, and I'm getting responses from my French friends in Paris, en français, in French, and I'm able to answer them in French as well. And I always loved to play the piano, but I don't think I was ever good enough to be a concert pianist. My piano teacher thought so, but I think she
You
was
didn't go to the
prejudiced.
Nellie Berman School of Music.
No, I
If you would
didn't.
have just gone there.
No, I didn't.
Now, Emma plays beautifully French music too. She plays Jodot by Ravel, which is shimmering, beautiful piece that requires tender, and very, very fast fingers. She played Ravel Sonatine.
Hold your hands up. Let's see what your hands look like. You have
Move your
long fingers.
Those fingers are so fast and light.
Oh, you have long fingers. She has beautiful hands,
Beautiful
doesn't
hands, beautiful hands.
Yeah.
And she memorizes so easily. In music and classical music, it is so important to be able to immediately see patterns and immediately be able to memorize, and then to seek color, beautiful color. Today, when she played her last note of this Tchaikovsky, she waited a little bit, and then she touched the piano with these graceful, beautiful fingers. And that last note, it almost resonated in the whole way, just how she prepared it. There's a lot of preparation, there's a lot of thought process and intellectual abilities for kids. So usually these kids are very precocious. They're great readers, they're wonderful in math. To be able
Don't listen, it'll go to your head.
And classical music is such an incredible opportunity for human beings in a very young age to develop their whole persona, their whole understanding of the world. Like, you studied French, they study Ravel, they study Russian composer Prokofiev, or today we had Bach and great composers and different emotions. And this is so important in good teaching, not just to teach the child to read music, but truly delve into what is the meaning of this music, the human character, the human qualities that each composer is able to evoke in their listeners.
One of the things that always amazed me was to learn about Mozart, that he was deaf. I think it was Mozart who was
Beethoven,
deaf.
towards the end of his life.
It was
tragic,
Beethoven.
tragic.
And he couldn't even hear, but he could picture what the music would sound like. Unbelievable. Oh, Mozart, I was thinking of the film that they made out of Mozart's life. Amadeus. Yes, and what a character he was. What a character he was. And he engendered such jealousy in the other would-be court composers.
Salieri and
Yeah, Salieri. Oh my goodness.
you have to believe in yourself. Talking about competitions, when kids go to competitions, it's very difficult to compete. It requires ability to say to themselves, it doesn't matter whether I win or lose. What matters is that I truly enjoy the music that I'm playing. And the results really don't matter. It's almost like love for music, l'amour de musique pour l'amour de musique, love of music for sake of music. And this is what we try to teach kids, because sometimes it's a special jury might like this particular performance or might like somebody else. And it doesn't matter that sometimes kids are not chosen. But in case of Emma, she had an incredible year. She was a soloist with five orchestras, and it's a special competition.
5 orchestras.
Special
Ooh.
competition, concerto competition. There might be 50 kids who come and they play, and the conductor sits there, musicians, and they have to choose who would be the person. And this year she's competing for Philadelphia Orchestra competition. That's coming up in January, right? About January. It's a Greenfield Concerto competition.
Have you ever met Yannick's?
No.
Oh, you will love him. He's so cute. You just want to put him in your pocket and take him home. He's just adorable. Such a personality. And when he's conducting the orchestra, he's so energetic. Mm-hmm. It's just amazing. Like, he could light up Philadelphia with the energy that he exudes in directing the orchestra. That'll be a treat.
I would love for him to help somehow my mother's memorial concert, and I would like to be able to continue her legacy and have Philadelphia.
When is this memorial concert going to be?
Memorial concert is going to be.
I'm going to put the information on the screen, I think. Yes?
It would be Sunday, May 15th at Radnor Middle School.
Oh, that's a different one.
This will be right. So
That's
Rising Stars is just
the Rising Stars concert.
This is
coming
up
soon, December 13th.
Yes.
Okay.
But
at St. Luke's Church in Bryn Mawr. And will you be playing, Emma?
Yeah.
What will you be playing?
I believe I'll be playing the Chopin concerto, the second concerto.
And how long have you been practicing for that?
I started it in the summer, and then I kind of put it off to the side for a few months because I was preparing for other competitions, and then I brought it back recently.
Now tell us about the memorial concert for your mother that's scheduled for next year.
Right, it will be in 2016, and it would be at Radnor Middle School, Sunday, May 15th. And there will be...
Is that Mother's Day? It's around Mother's Day.
It's around.
Around.
But
I don't know
in my
if that's
heart,
the actual date.
in my heart, it will be Mother's Day. I would like to give incredible thank you to my mother for the music she brought into my life, but also the music that she brought into the lives of hundreds, if not thousands, of children. I've received letters upon letter of gratitude that my mother has changed their lives, that she brought them this incredible gift, that it has shaped them as human beings.
Do you have any children? I forgot to
I have
ask
two
you, Elena.
children. I have a son who is 20, who is studying in Northeastern University in Boston, and I have a 13-year-old daughter whose name is also Emma.
Does either one of your children play a musical instrument?
Armand played first violin because I wanted him to play violin, because I always wanted to play violin, but all of my women on both sides of the family were professional pianists. Then he went to viola, then he went to cello. So this was his instrument. And then my daughter Emma, my mother used to teach her piano for probably 2 hours a day. But then she decided that she wanted to be a singer. So she actually studies voice very seriously. She has a beautiful voice and incredible ear.
Interesting, very interesting. So music is in your heritage and your family.
My kids...
What does your husband do?
Nothing to do with music. It would be too difficult to have a husband. He's working in medical trials, translation. He's not himself, but he has various companies all over the world that translate medical research. everything new that comes out.
Oh, that's important.
Very important.
How many languages does he speak?
He speaks French, obviously. He's from France, and he speaks English, but he works with different teams all over. A little bit of probably 100 languages.
Do you speak French?
I speak French. I have a degree from University of Pennsylvania in French literature, and I was also a master's from Temple University, and I studied with Gary Grafman at Manhattan School of Music. And
Oh, well, Grafman ended up at Curtis.
he became the director of
Yes.
Curtis. Yes,
Yeah.
really great musicians. I was lucky
Absolutely.
to have great teachers, and Emma was lucky enough to have great teachers. My mother, was her first teacher. I taught her as well, and then it's in our school. It's almost like takes a village. Often, sometimes kids have 2 lessons. Well, they always have for serious students 2-hour lessons a week. Sometimes it can be 2 teachers. So Emma had probably 6 teachers at the school, right? She would have lessons with in different periods of her time, and each of the teachers was able to add something very particular of their own. But I think the first teacher, Nellie, was the most was able to put and shape Emma's fundamentals and give her the technique, the touch, and now she's.
What do you remember most about Nellie Berman?
She was just an extremely passionate woman. She truly cared for every single student that walked through the door. She just put all of her energy into teaching. She absolutely loved it.
How did she compliment you? What would she say? Or was she careful not to compliment you because she wanted you to strive even more?
She did want me to strive even more a lot of the time, actually all the time. She wanted to inspire me, basically, for me to have my own motivation to go on.
Well, it sounds as if she did the job, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And your parents have been wonderful in supporting you as you're going further ahead in your musical career. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have one younger brother.
Is he musical as well?
He plays the piano. He started with Nellie.
Oh, he did. And is he still taking lessons?
He's wonderful. He's wonderful. My mother told me that he's talented, and
Really?
when my mother says the student is talented, he's talented.
Yeah, but it must be difficult for him with an award-winning older sister. That's tough competition, right?
He actually doesn't care about it much.
Oh, he doesn't see you as
Yeah,
competition?
he's 7, so.
Okay. I guess he likes baseball too, right?
He likes soccer, I guess.
Oh, soccer. Okay. What do you do if you have any spare time when you're not either playing tennis or the piano or the violin? Is there something else you like to do?
I like to read.
What do you like to read?
I love all kinds of books, like mysteries, nonfiction, realistic fiction, everything.
What's the most recent book that you've read, Emma?
I'm currently reading The Wind on the Moon by Eric Linklater.
I know the name Linklater, but I'm not familiar with the book. What's it about?
I haven't finished it yet, but it's about 2 girls, and their dad is off to war, so they have to stay at home and behave themselves. And the whole story is about them getting into like trouble and mischief and stuff.
And this book is fiction?
Yes.
Okay. But you say you read some nonfiction too.
I like lots of nonfiction things. Like when I was younger, I liked to read National Geographic. I love their magazines and their almanacs.
She's not a typical
No,
12-year-old.
she's not.
No, she's not. Do you like Justin Bieber?
No.
Oh, well, we won't tell Justin that. Okay.
There's a special, different kind of children. They're very bright and they're passionate, and they really are pretty much like adults in the way they play the piano or the musical instruments. I'm always surprised to see this level of depth and profoundness in a student like Emma.
But are there any current pop music stars that you do like?
I don't listen to pop music that much.
Oh, okay. All right, we get it. Classical all the way, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But the interesting thing about these kids is that majority of them don't become professional musicians. They study very seriously. And I was just telling a story about my mother's former student, Kyle Caesar Lowe, who won and played with Philadelphia Orchestra twice. He became a famous eye surgeon.
Oh.
And I was talking to a father of a student who recently told me that Kyle was able to do eye surgery with his feet, like not with his feet, but manipulating special instruments with both his hands and the feet, which requires pianists use pedal. So he
Yes.
was able to do it quicker than
Because of the
yes,
training.
So, as a pianist, she might become a famous eye surgeon.
Well, our guests today have been the incredible Emma Lou, who's a 12-year-old piano prodigy, and we look forward to seeing you on stage in the future, Emma.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us and giving credit to this very special young girl.
We'll see everybody next week.